Tony Stark Iron Man issue 17 sees a woman head to the ultimate spa makeover, where she is told she'll become the ultimate version of herself. The woman says that's all she wants, as in the present, the woman has become one of the many robot hybrids under Ultron's control. Rhodey fights off the monsters as Jarvis's mind reboots back to Ultron, forcing Bethany to tase him and knock him unconscious again. James tells Bethany to get Jarvis out of the building and take him to Stark Unlimited for help, and as she leaves, she demands James only use lethal force as a last resort. James knows that it's necessary to use it now, but the best thing he can do for these people is to put them out of their misery. Suddenly, the fused Iron Man and Ultron burst through the floor, and Tony can feel the change in him and how it's killing him as Janet tells James not to shoot since it's actually Tony. Ultron says that if he's in pain, then the process isn't complete yet and he needs to rest and let Ultron fix it. Janet fills James in on what has happened, telling him that Ultron has finally become her ex-husband, something that he's always wanted, and now he's trying to create himself a bride by combining her with Jocasta. James wonders where Jocasta is, as in the tunnels below, Jocasta crawls towards the broken Aaron, who is self-repairing himself. He tells her that she needs to go and help the others, but she is missing an arm and leg, and she can't even stand. Aaron tells her to take his limbs, but Jocasta knows that won't work, but the Machine Man says that if there's one thing he knows, it's that they are compatible. Jocasta takes one of his arms and one of his legs, leaving Aaron to go give Ultron hell. At Banetronics, Sunset is angered at Arno for luring Ultron to her building, saying her men are dead and she has been left disfigured. Arno says that his experiments with Jocasta were just the groundwork, and now he's more confident he can create human bodies with brain engrams fully restored, meaning he can finally bring his parents back to life. At Avengers Mansion, Tony blasts Ultron, but it has little effect on the adamantium and force field wielding villain. Suddenly Jocasta grabs Ultron, who thinks it's just Machine Man, but Jocasta smashes him away, helping Tony up and learning from Janet he's in agony. Ultron can't believe his bride hit him and how Jocasta and Janet care only for Tony, the Pretender, and the Machine Man. Powering up his weapons, he tells them that they can all die together then. The mansion explodes, spilling out onto the streets as Tony tries to contact Andy, telling him what's happening to him and wherever his timetable is on figuring out how to undo the fusion, he needs to move it up. Andy knows the process isn't working and they have gone in circles, and he knows the problem is they don't have a super scientist on hand. However, Dr. Shapiro the cat says that they do, saying his field was superhuman biology, so looking over the tests, he knows that he needs a molecular rearranger, just like the one Ultron uses to shape flesh. On Fifth Avenue, Tony and the others continue to battle Ultron, but he manages to beat them all. Ultron wonders what their plan is, but Tony refuses to monologue about his secret plan. However, the villain knows that it was to call the Avengers, so he intercepted the call and blocked it, pretending to be Captain America and reassuring Tony that they are coming, all while luring them away to Alpha Centauri with a false distress call. Ultron turns his men on the crowds of people, telling them to upgrade suitable beings. Tony tells his team civilian rescue is top priority as he continues to be racked with pain from having to reconfigure his armor to work with his internal organs this whole time. He knows he will die soon if he doesn't get something done soon, and as if on cue, he learns from Andy that Dr. Shapiro has cracked the fusion. James finds the news distressing, after having killed so many of the people, learning that they could have been saved. Jocasta says that she has to get Tony back to Stark Unlimited, so Rhodey needs to keep Ultron busy. Ultron finds it amusing someone like James could ever fight him in his giant cumbersome manticore armor as he rips it open, telling him the Avengers aren't coming. However, Rhodey says that one is, since he just put the call into him personally. Tony meanwhile thanks Jocasta for helping him, realizing now a bit more of what she's going through, although Jocasta doesn't think he has any idea as something shoots by them. She thinks it's Ultron related, but Tony knows what it is, knowing his friend didn't have to do this. Ultron meanwhile destroys the Manticore suit as Janet says James has done all he can and he needs to get out of there. James knows he hasn't as his War Machine armor arrives, saying the armor brings back his worst fears, but there are worse things than dying and it's time for War Machine to go to war yet again. Tony Stark Iron Man issue 17 continues the cool action as Ultron Agenda takes a neat twist with the fused Tony Stark. Probably my favourite arc so far has been Rhodey's little arc with him trying to overcome his PTSD so he can help his friends and kind of face his fear of the War Machine armor. Seeing him back in the War Machine armor is so cool, and I can't wait to see what sort of headspace he's in after the fact of being in the armor that he almost died in. Ultron's plan continues to be classic Ultron, take over everything, make everything machines, and I can't wait to see what an all-out war in the streets of New York is like with Ultron. I'm going to give this issue an 8.5 out of 10.